Hey everyone, Vanessa Hogel here. Um, you're going to get the disheveled quarantined me today. So I do apologize for that in advance, but I'm not getting all gussied up just to do this in my living room. So, not that I ever have before. So, anyway, I wanted to put some information out there that I kind of feel is really important, and it's not something I've ever really sat and thought about until like the last few days, and it's just different things that have happened, different conversations I've had, and in all honesty, I've had plenty of time to sit and think, and it's about being empathic. Okay, this is something if any of us are on social media, then we are aware that everybody is empathic. Everybody is empathic, okay? And they might be to a certain degree. Who knows? You're not in their head. So I understand taking people at face value. That having been said, okay, I do believe it's a buzzword. I do believe that it is used to justify particular behavior. But I also think, and this is really important. This is really what got me thinking. Is I think in some cases it's just absolutely not true based on people's behavior, and I'm going to explain why I think that. I don't believe that you can be empathic and also be a sociopath. Now, for a moment, I want you to take the word sociopath and think about it for what it is in its simplest terms, okay, at the lower end of the spectrum. I don't want you to think about the sociopaths who kill and things like that. I want you to take that part out of your mind, okay? What I want you to think about is the lower end of the spectrum of the sociopath, the manipulators, those who, through manipulative tendencies, through vocalizations with how they treat people, those that appear to have no conscience in regards to their own behavior. Okay, so in its simplest terms, which it sounds like that is, instead of saying sociopath, maybe you should just say asshole, right? Well, you could. You could. God, I really do need to comb my hair. You really could say that. However, somebody can be an asshole and not be a sociopath. But you really can't be a sociopath without being an asshole. The problem with that is when you're a sociopath, you're flying under the radar. You're flying under the radar, especially when you're a lower spectrum sociopath. You are doing just enough to turn the situation to your favor. Just enough to keep the person or persons that you come into contact with where you feel they should be. You're doing just enough to not be labeled. I think that is scarier than somebody who is very blatantly a sociopath, that is at the higher end of the spectrum, because the lower spectrum sociopath can affect many, many, many more people. And as we know, being affected by this has a ripple effect. I've been in situations where, long-term situations where I was involved with a sociopath, and they would do just enough to keep me hooked, but then just enough to keep me down. And it has taken many, many moons for me to get over that type of behavior. And the funny thing is, and this should have occurred to me then, I didn't use my noggin, y'all. They claim to be an empath. They claim to be able to feel other people's emotions, and and how much it would hurt them, and this, that, and the other. Okay, this is where we're going to intersect the sociopath and the empath. Empaths, by definition, are those that feel the feelings of others. They're not sympathetic, they're empathic. Sympathy means, in layman's term, that when somebody else is hurt, that you feel for them, you feel sorry for them. Empathy means you feel it. You feel their emotions. You feel their pain. You feel their suffering. You feel joy. You feel anger. Have you ever noticed that you can go into work in the best mood ever, if you're empathic? Best mood ever. And somebody at work that you're in close proximity with is in a very, very, very bad mood. And even if they don't divulge why they're in a bad mood, or they don't go into great detail as to what is causing them so much suffering or so much, so many problems, your mood starts to change. It can't help it. Okay? Your mood starts to change because you're a sponge for that negativity. Okay? This is where it gets interesting. Okay? Walk with me here. All right? Go on a little stroll with me, okay? When you are empathic and you have those abilities and you are able to feel other people's emotions and you're able to soak all of that up, what sense does it make to cause another pain or suffering when you know it's going to come back on you? Ding! See, the whole light bulb went off, okay? It doesn't make any sense, which is what I find fascinating, because if sociopaths are anything, they are selfish. The last thing in the world they want to do is cause themselves any issues. Ooh, uh-oh. That's the last thing in the world they want to do, is cause themselves any pain or problems. So they would not willingly do the things a sociopath does to keep you where they think that you need to be, because they in turn would suffer. Does that make sense? Are y'all following me here? You walking with me? Okay? That is something that I find very fascinating. And so for those who, in our daily lives that we come into contact with, and those of us in the community, we know a lot of people, and we know a lot who do the very things on both sides that we're talking about. That we know sociopaths. Don't think for a second you don't know one. Believe me, you do. Okay? But you also know empaths. See if the two personalities mesh. I can tell you right now, yes, I am empathic. I have had every reason in the world to want to cause pain to those who have hurt me. When you read Diary of a Psychic Loser Magnet, you're going to see a lot of that. I've had a situation that went on for years, the last 4 years, where I was stalked by the same person, and they did everything in their power to try to ruin me. And the only time I ever really retaliated, once the initial anger of the situation got out, was when they attacked my books. When a new release was coming out and they decided to take that time to slander me. Only time I retaliated. I'm a card carrying, candle magic working pagan witch right here, and I can tell you right now that not one time, not once, have I ever set out to cause anyone that has wronged me pain. Ever. Not just because of karma, because I'm cool with my karma. Whatever lessons I need to learn, I need to learn. but because I simply can't tolerate causing somebody else pain if I can avoid it. Because I will feel that. I will feel that. So why would I hurt myself? I wouldn't. So lucky for y'all, I'm not a sociopath. Okay? But that's something to think about. That's something that I really want people to think about. We have a lot of time on our hands right now. We have a lot of minutes that we can learn from, and there are going to be some who disagree with this, and that's okay. This is my opinion based on myself, my experiences, and what I know. So I don't expect everyone to agree with it, and that is totally okay. But I did want to put it out there. I do think that it's important. Sorry, little pop-up on my computer here. I'm going to get rid of that. I do think that it's important, and I do believe in educating based through experience. So do an inventory. Check out your peeps. Check out those that you hang with and see where they're at in these categories, where you're at in these categories. Self-reflection, y'all. Not a bad thing. Okay? I tried to keep this under 15 minutes and I did it! Woohoo! But anyway, I love you guys. There's Cha-Cha. Say hi, baby. Love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.